we're gonna move over to the Maha movement. We're gonna stick with Kevin Brown, and he's gonna educate us on this whole thing. So, Kev, go ahead.
All right. So the one thing that I liked most about this report was they kind of broke it down from a C student's perspective. So anybody can go read this. It's very digestible. The controversy around this, obviously from the left, which after reading it, I don't really understand, is that his footnotes, there are issues with his footnotes. They're accusing him of using AI, or his administration of using AI to cite some of these sources and generate some of these conclusions. And some of the citations pulled up nothing. White House says these are formatting issues. Um, White
So,
House is
what is the movement
Oh, the
though?
White House
Exactly.
doesn't
what is
have
the
people who
movement?
have.
Yeah,
What is Maha? We haven't
yeah.
talked about this.
What is this whole thing though?
All right. So the Maha movement is make America healthy again. The goal, the ambition with this from Robert F. Kennedy Jr., who started this whole movement,
Hmm.
is mainly focused around chronic disease and childhood chronic disorders. Right? What's going on that's perpetuating a lot of these chronic diseases? Is it the food we eat? Is it the air we breathe? Is it our
Right.
environment? Is
Mhm.
it the exposure to big industry like big pharma, big tech, whatever it is? And they want to look at that. They want to expose, the waste, fraud, and abuse. And they want to restructure the approach to the science that's validated or that's credible behind all of their findings and their conclusions. So that's in general the Maha movement.
Hmm. Okay.
Mhm.
Jim, thoughts?
Yeah, man, this is again the political playbook, right? Like so, and I say this, look at their their stock portfolios. If they have any investment in any of these companies selling sugar, synthetics, BS soil, right? Like to shine a light on an issue that the government and everybody else clearly has participated in creating, right? Like that's where all the lobbyists come
So
from.
that's one thing that they want to address. So at the end of the report, they give 10 points of how to move forward after all of their findings, right? One of them is oversight reform, which addresses the revolving door of lobbyists and what is it called? Regulatory capture. So all of these lobbyists, all the money, all the donations, whatever it may be to politicians, that creates that revolving door, or the politicians going to work on the board for these companies after their service. They want to address that. They didn't go into it in detail, but they mentioned this is one of their goals.
Looks
Right.
nice. That sounds nice.
What is? Okay,
That
sorry. Go
sounds
ahead. I'm
nice,
about.
Kev. Like, yeah, like we're gonna tell them we might do this. Like that's literally what
Yeah,
you're
I agree. It is
like. It
hearsay.
sounds nice.
Okay, but who says it and who is actualizing it and who has?
They're
We've
not
had
gonna
these complaints
actualize
for
it.
we have had these complaints. Parents have had these complaints. Generations have had these complaints for decades. And y'all are mad because of who's presenting it to you. I can't wrap my
I'm
head around
not.
it.
No. We're mad because we understand that is just like the reparation thing. They're still investigating and researching reparations, right? So this whole play is we're gonna say, "Oh, look at all the bad things that's happening.
Fair.
Give us 4 years," and then we found the strategy. Vote us
Very
another four,
fair.
and now this strategy is going to play. When
If
in
if our health gets measurably better, even in a fractional matter, or even in a minimal sense, is that still not some sort of a victory?
no, it's not.
What?
Is Hey, that's just like if did Ike have a good time with Tina sometime and then slap her? That's one of those
All right,
things.
let me give you an example then. Taking sugary,
Fluff it.
the number one product that was purchased on food assistance from the federal, what is it? No. The number one product that's bought is sugary drinks. Can't remember the exact figure, but that is the number one product.
Mhm.
Getting rid or removing that ability for families to purchase sugary drinks, the number one product from food assistance, is that not a step in the right direction?
But why did they even start to allow that? Why weren't they
But that's
only
neither
allowing
here or
water?
there. I
Right.
mean,
We're
yeah,
talking
Like
about
from the
things that
beginning,
are
doesn't
why were
matter.
they
how we're
on?
progressing.
But I'm just saying, we only as if you got food stamps and
Well,
I
okay,
as
we
a
know the
government,
answer
I'm giving
because
you
big
things.
industry lobbies our legislatures that allow that to perpetuate.
Oh, okay.
Somebody is
So
stepping
now they
in.
don't want the money no more.
No, somebody's stepping in and saying, no, we're not going to do that anymore because we know that this is bad for American children.
But how long have we known it was bad?
Too dang
Since it
long.
started.
I'll
Since
admit
it started.
everybody can acknowledge that. But why is there so much
So now
pushback?
they're. I'm just because I feel like okay, now we're tired of killing y'all. That's how I feel. It's
There's
like
somebody in there in
that's how I feel.
office saying that. Should you not be grateful?
I don't. I mean, no, I'm not.
Of realization.
I don't. I mean, it's because I'm not on food stamps.
I
don't care.
also think
This
that
is
if you got too many sick people that's relying on the government and these people can't go out to work, then the government can't effectively run how it needs to because the government makes money off of its people, correct?
government.
Right. So if you got all these people
Don't care
sick,
about sick people.
but hold on, but I'm saying
Government
if you
could
got
care
all of these,
less about sick people.
okay, but let's just say
somebody finally
hypothetically.
does.
Well,
Because
I
we
mean,
did an AI letter about this shit.
Oh my gosh. Can I go through some? Can I go through some of the points of the Maha?
You can go through the points, and I love that they're so surface for you, Kevin. These people do not care. This is
and
cute.
And Kev, when you
so
go through
cute.
the points, can you break down the points as much as possible? Because some of these terms, these people don't know what you're talking about. I barely know what
said
you're
it,
talking about.
you can
So
read
can you
it.
break down some of these terms as best as to your ability?
Right. So I didn't highlight all the 10 points, the next 10 steps, but I highlighted ones that stood out to me. First one is to prioritize replicable peer-reviewed studies. So that essentially means what?
What is that? Like what?
That means
Who's
increase.
peers,
That
Kev?
means you're increase. Well, what they want to do is increase investment in replicating studies and increasing availability beyond the federal government, beyond big industry, to independent researchers and independent labs, so they can also replicate these findings. Because the goal is for number one, you can't have a valid study unless somebody can replicate the process. If they can't replicate your methodology and come to the same conclusion, then it's not that's what the peer review process is.
Who's regulating this?
Well, again, that's another part of no, sorry. The Department of Health and Human Services. They
It's supposedly regulating
yeah,
this.
and they are, who's at the head of that? The same person who put this report together. And the next few points that I don't understand why you guys can't entertain.
I can't.
The second one, what is this? Oh, this one I got beef with. They want to create systems to monitor the amount of prescriptions that are issued to minors. Is there good there? I think there could be. Is it too potentially invasive? I would say yes. I'm a person who agrees more with minimal oversight, so I'm not really for this one. I think we would rather, open up the ability for doctors to prescribe as they feel necessary while removing the financial incentive from the federal government. What up, Doug?
Wouldn't there be a HIPAA violation?
If you have personal information, yeah. If it's demographic, no.
I don't know about that one either.
So that's what I got beat with.
But also, I feel like
thing-
the same people who are pushing medication on so many minors, it's just very funny to me. It's like an oxymoron. It's like you want to regulate it, but then but you also push a lot of
Y'all should read the
medications and
report.
prescriptions.
It's not
on
necessarily
children.
eye-opening, but it might soothe your minds.
My mind don't need. My mind is made up about this government, Kev. You already know that.
So what do you
And
do about
what
it?
else do you have?
Okay, all right.
What
I
else?
don't
We
feed
already
my
talked
child
about
sugary drinks.
oversight reform. They want to do long-term nutrition trials. The long-term nutrition trial would compare the long-term effects of a diet that's heavily in ultra-processed foods, which is something that they mentioned heavily in the report, versus a diet that is predominantly whole foods that are nutrient dense. We know that you're rolling your eyes because we know this information, but Has
I
our
mean, we've all
government
seen Super Size.
given us this? Have they prioritized the findings of this research?
Yeah.
Or do they
Yeah.
cover up a lot of it, like what they did with the food pyramid when they prioritize carbohydrates, which are found to like, I'm not even gonna go down that rabbit hole. So again, they're wanting to increase the availability of information that will help you take control of your lives. I don't get it. Interesting. Hold on. I got two more. uh, they want to implement more large scale lifestyle interventions. And these are, hold on. Calm
What
down.
is that?
These
Explain.
are the same, like similar to the initiatives that we already have to increase the pleasantness of your community, the revitalization efforts, right? To make it more walkable, to make it, make it so you
Those
have
little exercise places that they have.
remove food deserts so you have more access to whole foods, things like that that are revitalizing the community so you don't have to go so far out to access these resources, right? That's again a good one. And then the last one I have is a national initiative to map gene environment interactions affecting childhood disease risk. And essentially, what that means is they want to really look at what is going on in our environment, what's in our food, what's in our water, what's in our air, and what is putting all these harmful chemicals out there that are hormone disrupting, that are neural
They
disruptors.
are.
Huh? Yeah, exactly.
They have been.
Exactly. So be grateful that somebody in the government finally want to look at themselves. What comes of it is the question. Hopefully we will see. But those are some of the next 10 steps that they want to take.
So cute.
What up,
Kevin
Kev?
Jones and Jimmy. Go ahead, Kev.
So, all right, man.
All right.
And Kev, thanks for the breakdown. I do appreciate it.
Uh-huh.
But I think that this is a very easy concept that they're missing here. And it's like the real research, not numbers or anything like that, but going to the neighborhoods all across America and looking to say, does this neighborhood have a healthy place to go get food within 2 to 3 miles of each other? They don't have to catch a bus to go get this stuff. But
That
I can
would be,
tell you right now, in the city that I live in Philadelphia, it's not a lot of supermarkets, bro. And if you do
I
have
know.
supermarkets, you have to travel to them.
Yeah.
So
That would be part of the
I think
large
that that's
scale
where,
lifestyle intervention.
right. But you have to do that across America. And you can't just do that from behind the desk looking at numbers. You have to go to these neighborhoods and do that. Until
Kev.
I see them do that
Mhm.
or across the country, then I'll believe it.
I have a
Because
question.
they have to start there.
Another critique I have, just sorry, real quick, is that it is not very detailed. So the how and the when and the lead time to completion, that is what's not in there. It's very general.
It's
Because
not. Is it specific on things? Like I know you said like supermarkets.
it's specific on data and trends. And
Oh.
that's some of what the people on the left are really contesting when it comes to the report, and some independents as well. But it lacks detail as far as how to move forward with these next 10 points.
So question, what's a healthy supermarket to you guys? Kevin Jones can answer that. Like
Whole Foods.
what's a
Whole
name?
Foods, Trader Joe's, places
All
like
right.
that. Places where
So,
where you know they're not gonna put that in the neighborhoods where it needs to go.
right. So why would I put a Whole Foods in the hood and these people can't afford the food?
So
Make it
is that
affordable.
open for any?
Make it
Go ahead.
affordable.
Make it affordable, make it organic and all this other stuff that
Yeah, they
costs
got
money
to.
affordable.
That's the only way they're gonna make any kind of difference. Because if you drop something like that, and it's not gonna last, so therefore Whole Foods doesn't make money. Nobody gets healthy, and then you're right back to where you started from, and it was just like a big waste of time.
And
They
they're
have
gonna be at McDonald's buying a $5.
you have to make
meal.
this stuff affordable. Like that's number one. Make it affordable and make it accessible.
All the food waste in this country and people are going without. It's crazy to me.
Like
It would be
they're
much
more
easier
about
for me to go to. It's much easier for me to go to community center and learn how to garden than me fighting with you to get a Whole Foods put in my community. But they don't want to do either.
There are more corner stores than there are markets.
Like, let's be
I think
real.
that
They
would
don't
be
want
a
to
great
do
effort from any municipality is to dedicate a large plot of land or a few plots of land to community gardens.
Yeah,
And
and
Start
I've
there.
make
always
it
Yeah.
tax free to make it so or remove all permits from it aside from that one so nobody can build on it. It is complete. It's what is it? Public space.
public space.
Right. When I start seeing stuff like that, then I'll believe we're moving in the right direction. But all this is fluff to me until I see it.
So
it
I
all
never shop at Walmart, like ever.
Of course.
Um,
Why would you?
right. But I'm just saying. But the other day, I was like, damn, I want me some bananas, stuff like that. And I went in there and I got like a stack of bananas, right? Relatively cheap. Those things went bad in like 48 hours. All 12 of the bananas were like brown.
They've been sitting in a warehouse for months, Terry.
They were green on the first day I picked it up, and then 48 hours they were all brown. No joke. Like I didn't even recognize them. But when I go to Sprouts, I go to Whole Foods. It takes a couple of days, about 5, 6, 7 days for these bananas to get brown. So clearly, I'm not going to the Walmart to get my food. I don't know what they're doing over there.
But
I don't know what
some
type of
people-
food they got over there, but
some people, that's all they have, T.
Yeah.
All they have is that Walmart that is actually 20 miles away from their house.
And just imagine what they have in the corner store. Just imagine what those same bananas that you talk about from Walmart were probably worse that they're getting at the corner store where they can actually walk to and get to. You see what I'm saying? Like it's just you got to really rethink this whole thing. Like you have to make healthy food affordable. That's the only way this works. If the cheap stuff, if the stuff that you can get is unhealthy, that's cheaper. They're going to keep getting the cheaper stuff because that's what they can afford.
You know what
It has
else?
to be another way to do this, man.
You want to know what else Maha wants to do? Invest in small farms.
I'm with it. Let's see it.
All of
I
that
mean,
is
so-
talk, man. All of that stuff is talk. Even
You know what? Next episode, I'm going through the bill.
No, okay,
regarding
hold on,
all
hold
these
on.
topics. I want to see if they putting their money where their mouth is. Because, sorry, go ahead.
No, but they're not. Like one of the things you were saying, research, right? Like health in different environments. They did that. Every presidential cabinet does that, right? Like Obama's did it with the Michelle's component of going in for healthy lunches and moving. All of these were the same studies. So for them to talk about, oh, we're just going to map some stuff out, we're going to just look at research.
That's not fair because what they've been able to actualize is removing petroleum-based products from our foods by 2020. I think it's next year, the end of next year. Specific ones like red dye 40, yellow 5 or something like that.
All that stuff got to go.
Those have been removed.
But Kev,
hold on, and not only that, they're putting the pressure on fast food chains and restaurants to switch to beef tallow, which is better than these seed oils. So all these complaints that we've had personally and as a community and as a society, they have even though they're small right now, they have actualized things for y'all, and y'all just can't be grateful.
There's no
it doesn't have to be
actualization.
my point is it doesn't have to be small. We allow so much stuff in this country that other countries haven't allowed for years. If we needed the research or the blueprint, look at the other countries that are way more healthy than us.
So what's your problem with them doing it now?
I mean,
like we're starting now. I agree with you.
I feel like it's very cute for y'all to say this, but in 20 years, when I have grandkids and we still do, and I'm still hearing this same shit, I'll
be right there with you. I'll be holding them to account too. Like you pull the wool over our eyes. Yeah, I'll be right there with you.
Tamisha and Jimmy, and Tamisha always had like a partner in crime, right? So this whole entire season, she's always had a partner in crime. So I just gotta combine them together. What do you guys want? What do you want the government to do at the end of the day?
I want my 40 acres and a mule, so I can
well, you ain't getting
my
that.
family myself.
You ain't getting that. So
that's what I want. Did you ask me what I want them to do? I want them to leave me, give me my land, and leave me alone. That's what I want. Because just like Kev said, I have to take personal responsibility for what I'm eating, how I'm exercising, all of that. And then I have
making it easier for you.
And then I had 2 little human beings. They're not making it easier for me.
They're trying to.
They're not. They're not, Kev.
How okay?
Because
How can we
I'm the one
measure?
who's raising my
How can
children.
we measure? How can we not the oversight committees or whatever? How can we measure if we get better over the next 4 or however long this Maha movement lasts? How can we say, okay, we started here and now we're here, we got better or we got worse? Because I don't get it. We even if we get
First
a
of all, I'm gonna
little
have to
better.
move. I'm gonna have to move into one of these communities that, like Kev Jones was talking about, to see if anything happens. Because that would be how I would measure it too. I would have to live somewhere where it's not readily available to me. I don't live. My tax bracket is high here in Montgomery County, so I have plenty of Trader Joe's and Whole Foods and grocery stores on every corner. But let me get over here to Prince George County, and they do not.
What
So
could
if
they
I want to
do?
measure it, and Prince George County is right next door, I can knock down the door at Prince George County.
What
But
could the
because
administration do in a year or two that would satisfy you?
They got to do something. Which
What could something be? Give me one or two examples of something that you want done that
But
was
they
satisfying.
they still didn't really answer my question though. We're going
Right.
to another question, and like they didn't answer.
I already told you what my answer is, T. I want my 40 acres and mule, leave me alone. But just like Kev said,
We're asking the same
individually,
question, basically.
I've already taken responsibility for my health and the health of my children. I don't feed my kids certain things. Like my girls did not eat McDonald's when they were young. Like certain things they just didn't have. I took personal responsibility. They love fruits and vegetables. They also have cousins who've never seen a green vegetable because they live in a different part of town and maybe they mama can't cook. I don't know, but they don't eat vegetables. They got cousins who say they don't eat vegetables. That has nothing to do with me. Like Kev said, it's personal responsibility. Give me my 40 acres and a mule. Let me take personal responsibility for me and my offspring's offspring, and they can all be skinny and healthy and not have allergies and all this other stuff they talking about in here. It's very funny to me that they want to care about children's suicide rate and stuff. Like it's
Jimmy.
Yeah, so you mentioned that no one is getting 40 acres in a mule, right?
Nah.
But yet the South Afrikaners are coming over here and they're getting what is it, 84 billion is going to aid, right? And not only going to aid, right? We can connect the dots together, right? Because you had Acre Farms, one of the lead, JD Vance invested in that first, but now they took up all of the farmland, right, from farmers that couldn't afford it, and now that's what's going to be given to the Afrikaners that come over here.
34 South Africans.
Right? So we seen it at the Homestead Act. 1862 was the Homestead Act. They was giving 120 acres of land to foreigners that came over here. Guess who didn't qualify for it? Anybody who brought up arms. I mean, if you from here or you ever had any arms against the United States, you weren't allowed to get that land. And then they created school systems, the A&Ts, in order to teach them how to farm it, how to do everything else. So when you ask those questions, right?
And we already knew
that for a bunch of other people, but they will never give communities homestead acts, right? They won't say, hey, this community has a food desert. We're going to allow this much acreage for y'all to start growing your own garden and start having seed banks again. But guess what? That's illegal. Because why? Seeds are now patented. Right, so you asking all these. Well, what do we do now?
What if they? Okay, so
what if
they did that? What if they did that one thing? What if they?
Jim, what did you say? Could you finish what you're saying, Jimmy? I'm sorry, Kev.
No, I was done.
No. You said something about something. I didn't hear that last part.
Oh, I said yeah. I said we're asking about how can we remove, how can we change the now, right? But we had to understand all the patterns and things that got us to the now. You didn't have a food desert just magically overnight. You allowed the dollar stores to come in there. You allowed the bodega people to come there and don't pay no taxes. Why isn't any black-owned bodegas? You don't think people in these communities wanted to start stores, or you think they were just too lazy to say, hey, let me do it? No. Come on, man. You got to look at all of these dots and not turn a blind eye and say, well, what now?
Kev Brown?
Let's say they did that. Let's say they released all the patents on seeds. And they said, this is one way that we can help put the power back in your hands. And you can grow your own gardens. You can you purchase whatever seeds you want. And you can start the community gardens if that's what you want to do. What if they did that? Not to say that's on the table, but would that
put that on the table?
You?
Put that on the table with prices. Put that on the table with open grants for these community leaders to start being able to get. Don't tell me you about to research and map and do all these things. It's going to take 4 years, 8 years, oh, we got some information. Man, it don't take y'all $800 million to get information. I'm
It
sorry.
doesn't.
Okay, so
right.
out here in California, I believe you have to register your own home garden.
Why?
Exactly. So I say that to take a step down from the seed thing.
Mm-hmm.
If they push for states that have unruly regulations like that to lift those, so people can again at least start to grow what's already available, would that
Correct.
satisfy you?
That would satisfy a lot of people. It ain't got
All
nothing to
right,
do
we
with
got
me.
somewhere.
I'm just saying. But that's again,
Is that
that's not
because y'all
in
have
none
that
of those
water stuff
points.
in
I'm
California?
not putting that in any of those
No,
points.
they're just nuts. They
Oh,
freaking crazy.
because that sounds crazy to me. After
Exactly,
for a
they're
home
crazy.
Kev Jones, why are you laughing over there, bro? What happened? I want to know.
I'm laughing at you.
Oh, okay. All right. So my biggest thing with all
Because
of this.
Terrence ain't growing nothing. He just wants to go to Trader Joe's and pick up his bananas.
Well,
He's not
actually, I would love if my wife, my future
Ah!
wife, is
I
actually
knew
out
Honey
there
Blossom was coming
planting and
into
doing
it.
I
I
some
knew
stuff. If she's
Honey
out
Got
Blossom
there,
the
was
jean
coming.
overalls with one
I
strap
knew.
undone.
I wouldn't
I
mind if
knew
she's
Honey
out there doing
Blossom
it.
was coming
You
into
know?
the conversation
You
when
know,
I
for
said the garden.
her husband and for her kids, and we're growing our own stuff. I wouldn't mind that. But before we move on, I just want to say this. It seems as though we're just always looking to blame somebody for something, because even from the food aspect, right? Like, oh, well, they're not giving us quality food. They're not giving us quality education. They're not giving us all of these things. But then certain things that some people can do, like lose weight and go to the gym,
But
people
not
don't
everybody
even,
can.
well, hold on. If you got $10, you can go to a gym. All
You
right.
got $10,
Transportation
T.
and all that. You know.
But it's too many different variables. Transportation, I can't get. You can walk. If you start walking, you'll lose the weight, right? And get your steps in.
Valid.
Yeah.
You haven't watched enough My 600-Pound Life to know that the exercise is not it. It's what you're eating and your
Let me
body.
tell you something.
chemistry.
I personally walk about 7,500 steps a day, give or take,
We believe you.
and that keeps me exactly where I need to be. And that's why I'm so scrawny like this, right? when I was walking about 2,500 during COVID, or maybe less than that, your boy was blowing up. I was blowing up
Why were you walking less during COVID? Because you had to stay in
because
the house?
I wasn't doing anything. I was just sitting here on the Zoom talking, doing say the four, eating chips and Coke. That's all I was
to
doing,
get
and
you a
wine,
treadmill. You gotta get your treadmill, T.
right? So now, fast forward to 5 years, all of that weight is gone. Your boy looks good. So you gotta take some initiative with some of this stuff. You can't keep on blaming everybody for everything around here.
But
For everything.
I
How do you
understand
know?
that, but a strong percentage you can, T.
No.
You can. Some people have, but just Kev, you said it. You have to take personal responsibility.
What
I
did
get
Kristen?
it.
What did Kristen
For your
say?
health.
What did Kristen say? It's your parents' fault. They modeled for you. They
So
didn't
that-
teach you.
I
It's
mean,
your parents' fault. And
that
then
could
at
be
some
true,
point,
too.
it's your fault. And she said, I asked her, when do you take accountability for your life? She said, as soon as possible. And these people that fall into these spirals, it's your responsibility. Barring any mental health conditions, it's your responsibility.
Right. And we can sit there and complain about all the things that the government's not doing this for us. But then what are you doing for your own in-house government, your own self, the thing that falls in your four walls? What are you doing? And majority of people ain't doing shit. So we're going to move. They ain't doing shit. And that's why they
till he
complain.
find Honey Blossom because he just getting outrageous.
Say what?
I can't wait till you find Honey Blossom so she
Honey
can
Blossom.
break you down some.